Okay, so hello sa inyo mga future CPAs. So again, this is RFBT Quick Reads. This time we will discuss, quickly, I would say, and we will recall the crucial concepts related to law on partnership. So this accounts for 6 out of the 100 questions in your RFBT exam. So again, I'm already presuming that you are already on I would say, the rehash phase of your review, recall phase of your review. So to help you with that, let's try to answer some questions related to law on partnerships. Okay? Sige. Start tayo with the first question. Which of the following is not a requisite of a partnership? So remember, ang requisites ng partnership dyan would be letter A, emphasizing the fact that a partnership is a contract and therefore general rule, mere agreement among the parties will create a partnership and will give it juridical personality. Letter B is also a requisite of partnership. So remember, tatlo po ang possible contributions in a partnership agreement. So that would be cash or money, property, or industry or service. So depende po sa contribution mo, ang tawag sa'yo bilang partner, if you remember that. So kapag cash or property, yan po ay ang tawag po sa partner that contributes money or property is a capitalist partner, right? While a partner that contributes service to the partnership is called an industrial partner. Okay? So, letter B is also an element. Lawful object or purpose is also an element owing to the fact that a partnership is a contract and therefore, for there to be a valid contract, the object must be lawful or licit. So therefore, inherent in its characteristic as a contract is that it must have a lawful object or purpose. So therefore, number one is letter 2. Hindi po kasama ng element ng partnership is that it must not incur a loss. Remember, ang element ng partnership agreement pang-apat would be intention. Okay? Intention to divide profits. But remember, okay, hindi po yung entity incurs a loss, hindi na kagad partnership. So, nilagay lang ng batas yung word na profits dyan in order to be logical. Kasi wala naman sigurong tao na gustong pumasok sa agreement na ang objective is to earn or to incur a loss. So, syempre profit. But inherent, remember, in the intention to divide the profits would be the willingness among the partners to divide losses if there be any. So, number one is letter T. Okay, so you remember that. Okay, so apat ang element: valid contract, mutual contribution, lawful object or purpose, and intention to divide profits. Okay? Sige. So next, uh, number 2. Which of the following statements about partnership is incorrect? Remember ha, incorrect po ang hinahanap natin. Okay? So una, like a corporation, a partnership has a separate juridical personality. If you still remember, this is correct. Owing to this fact, the assets and liabilities of the partnership are separate and distinct from the assets and liabilities of the partners, and therefore the personality of the partnership is separate and distinct from the personality of the partners that composes the partnership. Okay? So number one is letter A is correct. Hindi yan ang sagot kasi incorrect ang hinahanap. Next. Unlike a corporation, okay, a partnership is governed by the principle of delectus personae. This is also correct. Uh, Under this principle, no person shall be compelled to be a partner to another because according to the law, partnership is a contract that is based on trust and confidence. So if you cannot compel one person to be a partner to another, you cannot compel a person to stay in a partnership against his will. And if two or more persons are not partners to each other, then those two persons are also not partners in the eyes of third persons. So that's letter B. This is also a correct statement. Okay. Letter C, partnership is a consensual contract. This is also correct. As a general rule, a partnership is created by mere consent of the parties. delivery of the subject matter is not required because it is not a real contract. Formalities as a general rule does not affect the validity of a partnership and its acquisition of juridical personality because it is also not a solemn or formal contract. Remember, it is consensual. Mere meeting of minds creates a partnership. Okay? So number two, ang incorrect statement dito is letter D. The receipt of a share in the profits of an entity gives rise to a conclusive presumption that the person receiving the share is a partnership. Mali po. Hindi po conclusive. Disputable lang po. No? Disputable presumption lang na partner. In other words, since inherent in a partnership is the intention of the partners to divide profits, if you are receiving a share in the profits of an entity, then there is no logical reason there other than you being considered as a partner in that entity. And therefore, since you are a partner in that entity who receives a share in the profits, there is a presumed existing partnership. So that is number two, letter D. But remember that presumption is not conclusive. It's a disputable or prima facie presumption of being a partner in a partnership. Okay? So number two is letter D. Next, number 4. Okay, nalampasan lang, no? Number 4. Okay, nalampasan lang yung number 3. Okay, 4 na tayo. Statement 1. If the capital of the partnership is 3,000 pesos or more, the contract of partnership must be in writing and must be recorded in the Office of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Otherwise, the partnership will not acquire juridical personality. So the first part, until this point, is correct. If the capital is 3,000 or more, the law requires the partnership to be in writing, not just actually in writing, okay, but also recorded in the Office of the Securities and Exchange Commission. In fact, it's not just in writing, it must be in a public instrument. Okay? Now, otherwise, the partnership will not acquire juridical personality. This part, however, is false, which is why statement 1 is false. Bakit? Because according to the law, this requirement is again, if you remember, merely regulatory and therefore non-compliance with this requirement will not affect the juridical personality of the partnership and therefore despite non-compliance it will still acquire juridical personality. So statement 1 is false. Statement 2. When an immovable property or real rights are contributed to the partnership, the contract of partnership is void. If an inventory of immovable property is not contributed, is not made, signed by the parties and attached to the public instrument. So remember, two additional requirements for the partnership here. Dapat public instrument, dapat merong inventory of immovable property contributed. So, if you don't comply, this statement is correct. Void po. Okay? Remember yung distinction between the effect. Dito sa statement 1, yung 3,000 pesos or more, kahit hindi ka mag-comply, valid ang partnership mo. Pero yung number 2, klarong-klaro ang batas na void. So therefore, true yung statement 2. Okay? Statement 3. If the formalities for a limited partnership are not complied with, the partnership agreement is void. Okay? False. Okay? Remember, ang limited partnership, may formalities po na kine-require ang batas. Now, however, if the requirements of the law for limited partnership are not complied with, that will not prevent the creation of a partnership. That means that the partnership will still be valid, but although it is valid, it will be treated as a general partnership. Hindi siya limited. In other words, the correct rule is if the formalities for a limited partnership are not complied with, the partnership will be valid but only as a general partnership. Okay, so number 4 is letter C. Yung second statement lang po ang correct. Okay, next tayo, continue. Again I hope nare-recall mo yung mga fundamental principles. I'm hoping again that you are already at the latter part of your preparation and therefore this is just a simple recall for you prior to the actual board exam. Okay? So statement 1, number 5, husband and wife are prohibited from entering into a universal partnership. This is true. Okay? Dalawa po ang universal partnership, present property or profits, parehas po, bawal ang husband and wife. But remember ha, the prohibition applies only to universal partnership, hindi particular partnership. Okay? So therefore, bawal lang silang pumasok sa universal partnership. Okay? Number 2, articles of universal partnership entered into without specification of its nature, that is whether present property or profits, considered lang as a universal partnership of profits. Statement 2 is also true. Okay, kasi mas conservative po ang universal partnership of profits. Okay, because ownership over the properties present at the time of creation will remain with the respective partners that own them. Okay? Only the use of rock or the benefit will transfer to the partnership. So it's more conservative because there is least transmission of rights, right? So therefore, sabi ng batas, okay, kung may doubt, you go with universal partnership for profits. Okay? So again, lagay ko lang to ay sorry. Okay? This is Isa lang natin. So, statement 1 again is 2. Statement 2 is also true. Punta tayo sa statement. Okay? Husband and wife, both lawyers, cannot form a partnership to exercise their common profession. Now, again, this is false. Bakit? Kasi po, a partnership that is entered into to cover a specific undertaking and to exercise, okay, common profession is actually a particular partnership. So sabi ko nga, it is different from a universal partnership, and insofar as prohibition on the part of husband and wife is concerned, ang bawal lang sa kanila ay universal partnership. Pero particular partnership, including partnership for practice of profession, is allowed. So therefore, statement 3 is false. Letter boy po ang isasagot natin. Number 5 is letter boy. Okay, next. Number 6. Number 6 deals with universal partnership of all present property. So again, if you remember, kapag yan ang scenario, more often than not, ang tanong dyan, which of the following, if which of the properties belong to the common fund or which of the properties do not belong to the common fund. So ang issue lagi pag universal partnership ay common fund. Okay? So pag present property, everything that is owned by the partners at the time of creation of the partnership belongs to the partnership common fund, and all income, benefit, or use of coming from those properties existing at the time of creation of partnership will also form part of the common fund. Okay? Now, for properties acquired by or after the creation of partnership, it is possible for the partners to have a stipulation again that the properties acquired after creation of partnership will also form part of the common fund. But remember, even if there is such stipulation does not cover properties acquired by gratuitous title. So, onerous title lang po ang covered kahit valid yung stipulation. Okay? So, ang tinatanong dito, hindi kasama sa common fund. So, mas maganda, isa-isahin na lang natin and sabihin natin kung common fund or hindi. Okay? So, Joseph and Edward entered into a universal partnership of all present property. At the time of their agreement, Joseph had a border apartment which he inherited from his father 3 years earlier. Common fund because it is already owned by Joseph, the partner, at the time the contract was created. Edward, on the other hand, had a fish fund which he acquired by Dashon and Pago from Robert, again part of common fund so long as it is existing at the time of creation of partnership, regardless of how it was acquired, be it gratuitous or onerous. Okay? During the first year of the partnership, rentals collected on the Forder apartment amounted to 480. Since the Forder apartment was classified as common fund, the benefit coming from the Forder apartment will also form part of the common fund. While fish harvested from the fish pond were sold for 300,000. Again, we classified the fish pond as common fund. The fish harvested and sold will also form part of the common fund. During the same period, Edward received by way of donation a vacant lot from an uncle. The partners had a stipulation that future property shall belong to the partnership. In other words, according to them, if there are properties acquired during the existence of the partnership, that will also form part of the partnership common fund. Okay. Now, however, again, as I have mentioned, while there is a stipulation such as that, that can never cover an acquisition by gratuitous title. So, therefore, dito yung vacant lot, kahit may stipulation sila na future properties shall belong to the partnership, still by default, this will not form part of the common fund. So therefore, which of the following does not belong to the common fund? Letter dog, yung vacant lot. So number 6 is letter dog. Okay, continue tayo. Number 7. A and B entered into a universal partnership of profits. So this time profits naman, pero ang issue pa din, common fund or not. So again, isa-isahin natin, ano naman ang part ng common fund kapag profit. So remember, all properties owned by the partners at the time of execution remain partners' properties. So ownership over those properties will remain with the partners. Only the use of usufruct, the benefit, or the fruits coming from those properties will form part of the common fund. Second, all acquisition made by the partners while the partnership exists by effort or industry will also form part of the common fund. So remember the key term there would be effort or through effort or industry. Ibig sabihin, kung yan ay lucrative title or by luck or by chance, by default, it will not form part of the common fund. Okay? So having those contexts in mind, again, let's try to review alin dito sa mga properties ang common fund or hindi. Okay? So, A had a two-door apartment which he inherited from his father 3 years earlier, owned by the partner at the time of execution, not common fund. B, on the other hand, had a fleet of taxis which he purchased 2 years before, again owned by the partners at the time of creation, hindi na po common fund. In the first year of the partnership, B earned 500 as radio talent. This is through work or industry, common fund. While A won 1 million in the lotto. So again, kapag hindi through work or industry, walang effort, by chance, hindi common fund. During the same period, rentals of 120 were collected from the apartment. While the apartment is not common fund, the rentals or the benefit will form part of the common fund. While fair revenues of 200,000 were realized from the operation of the fleet of taxis. So again, the fleet of taxis are not is not common fund, but fair revenue will form part of the common fund. So therefore, to answer the question, which of the following belongs to the partnership? Of course, it's letter C. Sa choices, letter C ang kasama. So number 7 is letter C. Okay? So sige, tuloy-tuloy tayo. I'm sure natatandaan mo ito, no? Kasi naaral mo na ito during your review for the board exam. Okay? Sige. So number 7 is letter C. Next, number 8. In a general partnership, all partners are general partners. So again, this is true kapag general partners. So general partnership is a partnership that where all partners are general partners. This is true. Number 7, statement 2. In a, ba't umulit? Oh, sorry, umulit, no? Paki-take note na lang ha, yung number, no? Nagulo lang ng konti, pero you get the idea naman, no? So, again, in this item, statement 2, in a limited partnership, not all partners are limited partners. This is true. Kasi kapag limited partnership, at least one limited and one general partner. So, hindi pwedeng lahat limited. Kailangan mayroong isang partner that is liable up to the extent of his personal assets. Hindi pwedeng lahat liable lang up to the extent of their capital contribution. So, statement 2 is true. Statement 3, the liability of general partners for partnership debts is primary, joint, and pro rata. Tama sana yung pro rata or divided among the partners equally. tama sana yung joint as opposed to solidary, pero mali yung primary kasi hindi po primary. Ang tama ay subsidiary. Kasi remember, subsidiary lang yan in a sense that they will only be liable the moment the juridical person becomes incapacitated to pay. So, ang una munang magbabayad si juridical person as the primary entity liable. Okay? Now, kung maubos ang assets ng partnership, saka lang po pwedeng humabol sa partners to invoke their joint and pro rata liability. So, letter B ang isasagot natin. Okay? So, number 6 is letter B. Next, 7. Okay? So, again ha, medyo naggulo lang ng konti yung number but you just follow the item number here. Okay? Statement 1. The surname of the limited partner shall not appear in the partnership name. General rule, this is true. Statement 2, a limited partner cannot take active part in the management of the firm. Remember, this is also true. And number 3, a limited partner cannot take control of the firm. This is also true. So number 7 is letter A. Remember, these statements pertain to the limitations per, provided for by law for limited partners. Remember, if you still remember, if these rules are violated, the limited partner is or will be liable, okay, as general partner. So, lagi kong ine-emphasize ito, liable lang siya as general partner. Hindi siya magiging general partner. So, for all intents and purposes, limited partner pa din siya. Kaya lang, ang liability niya is general partner, meaning liable siya up to the extent of his personal properties. Okay? So, number 7 is letter A. Next, number 8. Teresa, Olga, Pamela, and Sonia, partners in Taps Company Limited, an IT company, have contributions of 150,000 each. Teresa and Olga are general partners, Pamela a limited partner, and Sonia a general limited partner. So remember, ang general partner liable up to the extent of capital contributions. Limited partner is liable, general partner liable up to personal assets. Limited partner up to capital contributions. So, pag ikaw ay general limited partner, liable ka pa din up to the extent of your personal assets. Pero, insofar as benefits, you have some rights or you have rights of a limited partner, including that of being entitled to a return of your capital contribution ahead of the general partners. Okay, so pwedeng general limited provided that it is stated in the limited partnership certificate. Okay? So, Taps Company Limited purchased merchandise on credit from KDC amounting to 220,000. On due date, the partnership failed to pay, assuming the remaining assets of the partnership amounted to just 100,000. From whom can KDC collect the 220,000? So, again, remember, primarily liable would be the partnership. So, kung ang debt amounting in favor of KDC is 220,000, you first exhaust the assets of the partnership. So, ang natitira lang na assets ng partnership ay 100,000. You exhaust that, being primarily liable. Then, there will be a deficit of 120,000. Ito na po yung covered ng liability ng partnership, ng partners. So, lahat ng partners, general partners, industrial partners, liable for partnership debts pro rata. Ang hindi lang po kasama ay purely limited partner. Okay? So dito, ang kasama sa hatian ay si Teresa, si Olga being general partners, and si Sonia being a general limited partner. Ang hindi lang isasama is si Pamela being a purely limited partner. And unless sabihin na may violation dun sa prohibition ng limited partner, you don't include Pamela being a limited partner. So again, insofar as debtors are concerned of the part or creditors of the partnership are concerned, partners will be liable subsidiary, jointly, and pro rata, meaning equally. In this context, partnership equally among the partners. So therefore, after makakuha ng 100,000 sa partnership, singil siya ng 40,000 each kay T, O, and S. So, therefore, letter C ang isasagot natin. So, number 8 is letter C. Ayos tayo so far. So far ha, nasusundan yung discussion natin, nare-recall yung mga concepts na alam mo na, you are ready for the board exam. Okay? Sige. So, sunod, no? Number 9. MJ&G formed a general partnership with a capital of 100,000 and the partners contributing 50, 30, 20 respectively. O has a claim against the partnership if O files a suit to collect her claim which is not correct. So again, isa-isahin na lang natin since not correct ang hinahanap para lang mas sure tayo. Letter A. All the partners are liable to the extent of their separate property. This is true. Bakit? Kasi po general partnership ang create and therefore itong si M, si J at si G, they are all general partners. Kasi general partnership is one where all the partners are general partners. So kahit hindi sabihin, yan ang assumption. So letter A is true. That's not the answer kasi not correct ang hinahanap natin. Diba? Next, letter B. All the partners shall be liable pro rata with all their property only after the partnership assets have been exhausted. This is also true. Kasi po ang liability ng partners for partnership debts ay subsidiary lang, hindi primary. Next, the personal liability of the partners is merely joint, not solidary. This is also correct, which means that each of the partners can only be compelled to pay a portion of the total partnership debts, not the entire amount. Therefore, dahil A, B, C ay correct, letter D ang incorrect. Dapat. So, ito, sagot natin. So, tignan natin kung talaga bang incorrect siya. After exhaustion of the partnership assets, MJ and G shall be liable 50, 30, and 20% respectively of the unpaid claim. Eh mali nga talaga. Bakit? Kasi remember, in the eyes of third persons, the liability of MJ and G will always be pro rata. And pro rata here will always mean equally among the partners. Hindi po relevant ang P&L or capital ratio kasi ito yung capital ratio nila eh, 'di ba? Ito yung capital contribution nila. But remember, this is not relevant kasi sa batas laging pro rata and pro rata means equally among the partners. So laging divided by the number of partners in a partnership. Letter dog is incorrect. Next, tuloy-tuloy tayo ha. Number 10. A, B, and C are partners. Their contributions are as follows: 60, 40, and C, services. So, ito ay capitalist, CCI, industrial partner. Statement 1. If the partners agree to divide profits and losses in the following proportions, 35, 25, and 40%, C share in case of loss of 10,000 is 4,000. So the crucial question here is, should C, the industrial partner, share in the loss? Yes, because there is a stipulation to that effect. So remember, ang industrial partner, exempt lang siya pag walang stipulation na mag-share siya sa loss ng partnership. Pero kung meron, that's a valid stipulation. The parties are free to stipulate that. Therefore, statement 1 is true. Next, statement 2. If the partners did not agree on the sharing of profits and losses, C will not share in the loss in case there is a loss of 10,000. Again, this is true because again, industrial partners by default do not share in the losses of the partnership unless there is a stipulation to the contrary. So again, unlike in statement 2 na walang agreement, dito po nakalagay statement 1, if the partners agree to divide profits and losses. So kasama po dun sa agreement na 35, 25, 40 ang loss. Kaya magsi-share si C. Pero sa statement 2, walang agreement, exempt. Letter A ang isasagot natin. So number 10 is letter A. Klaro tayo? Far? So again ha, I hope nasusundan at natatandaan, I would say, yung mga kailangan tandaan sa partnership lang. Okay? Sige. So, same as before, I will cut this discussion short every 30 minutes or so that you will have time to regroup, you will have time to recall, so that after that, you can continue with the rest of the video lectures for law on partnership. Okay? So, you give yourself a short break. I will cut this discussion short, then watch the next video lecture. Okay? Sige.